Hello folks and welcome back to Rome Total War. I'm Stip and this is going to be part 6 of my Barbarian invasion campaign where I'm playing as the Goths. And in the last episode we did reconquer Cordoba. I mistakenly put in the video description that I'd reconquered Iberia. Yeah, I'd forgotten that I hadn't finished that yet, so I will be actually doing that in this episode here with the conquest of Salamantica, or Salamantica, yeah that's a better way of saying it. And I will be assaulting that settlement because it is time for me to get this show on the road. Despite the fact that the Roman units are typically scarier, this is a very beat up garrison. My army is strong and I do need to sort of catch up, I think. Now that I have like a sight on the Frankish Empire and now it's looking kind of scary, you know? So I think that I do want to sort of get going here. And something to consider also is the fact that my northern neighbors, the Roxolani, my allies, I'm happy that they are my allies. I'm happy to have them on my northern border. It acts kind of like a buffer state in a sense, which I would like to keep that way if I can. I know that there are some complaints regarding the diplomacy system in this game, it just being kind of obtuse and abstract, kind of hard to figure out. And I know that allies itself is kind of a finicky kind of thing here. But I'm wondering if I can keep them on my good side and keep them as a buffer between me and the Frankish Empire. This is currently still being held by the Western Romans, so I guess the Roxolani aren't going to be pressed by them yet, but how long is that going to last, you know? Now, it's a little bit tricky here because the Roxolani are allied with the Alemanni, who I intend to attack very soon. Now, it's my understanding that the Roxolani will stand by my side if I am the aggressor. And this is going to be a good chance for me to test that because, yeah, I do want them to stand by me. And although I don't intend to go to war with the Franks, like, right away. Oh, that's owned by the Franks. Okay, so yeah, maybe it's going to be, like, right after taking that settlement, I'll be attacking the Franks, possibly. We will see. But what I'm trying to say, though, is that I should try to get military access to their lands. They did approach me trying to get military access to my lands. Now, I wasn't sure what their motives were at that time, so I said no. And I imagine that they are feeling spurned from that. It is my understanding that actions like that is going to decrease the reputation. Not the reputation, but the relationship between the two factions. So to rebuild that, it's probably just going to take money, really. Paying them money, maybe 1,000 denarii per turn for a little bit, just to kind of get them to like me again. Now, obviously, I will try to get that military access without paying that money in the beginning. But if they do deny that, then I can, of course, try to grease their palms a little bit and see if I can do it that way. Now, here's the thing. Of course, I do have options. I don't have to go through their territory. I can just sail around it. But realistically, I do want both options. You know, like, I'm thinking about this probably in the incorrect terms by thinking that it's one or the other. It's probably for the best that I have both. They're both good long-term decisions to make. Having a military access to their lands and allowing me to potentially assist them militarily, you know, against the Franks, perhaps, right? That's a good option. Just having, you know, land access to the rest of my empire once I start conquering in this direction is going to be smart as well. And then the other option, building up a navy, is also a good long-term option, really, you know? Just having something that can protect my ports and also move my troops around, you know? Because it's probably going to be faster moving troops from Terrico to Italy via navy, would be my guess. So, yeah, there's some considerations here. And also, my navy, I think my one boat, I think it got sunk before I was able to find out if there was a settlement on Sardinia. So, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. And if there's something for me to conquer there, I'm not sure. But in any case, it can seem kind of like a tough decision to make because both of these options are going to cost money. You know, building a navy costs money. The Goths aren't a natural naval kind of faction. They can't naturally, you know, build any of their own ports. So double check that. Yeah, there's no ports in their build tree. So it's all going to be through ports that I conquer. And currently I can only build the tier 1 boats, which is pretty haggard, you know? So does that mean that if I conquer a settlement that has a second tier port building, can I finally build the large boats, which was the upgraded boat for the Barbarian factions? I would hope so. But then where would that be? You know, like what's it going to be? Probably not Massilia, but like Rome maybe? Does it? I'm not even seeing a port here, but it would even show? It would, because I'm seeing a port there. But I walked by there, so I discovered that for myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would show or not, because... yeah, I'm not sure. But in any case, that is something that I'm going to have to maybe hope for. Maybe conquering a place with a tier 2 port would be nice. If not, yeah, just kind of rocking a tier 1 boat navy is going to be pretty haggard, right? That's going to be pretty gross. So I think that for now, the fact is both of my diplomats are kind of like, you're here, and then I have another one over here. So I should have another one so that I can talk to the Roxolani. There's a Roxolani diplomat right here, but I can initiate that conversation without a diplomat of my own. So let's go ahead and get one going, and he's going to be going in front of the boat. And yeah, we can start getting boats later on. So the fantastic news of the last episode was that my faction has been saved. My faction leader has a son, and I was able to adopt another general into the family. I think it's going to be Tolga is going to be the new general. Yeah, 2-star general. Not freaking bad. So in fact, let me just double check. Faction heir is still going to be Sigrid, the 70-year-old. So let's not do that. Let's actually have Tolga be the faction heir. Yeah, and when Sigrid does pass away, I would imagine that I would be getting an option to possibly inherit one of my current... I'm training a bunch of warlords just because they're the only heavy cav that I have available. It is kind of a weird thing because I can recruit warlords at a tier 4, but I cannot recruit my Barbarian noble cav. Is that what they're called? I think I need the other building for that. So it's a tier 5. I need a huge city, and then I need the Great King's Stables, and I can get the Goth Noble Warriors. And yeah, they're going to be the full strength 54-man unit. That's not a character, but it is, a heavy cav unit. And their stats, how do their stats compare? 10 and 22 compared to... what are the stats for these guys? I have to look at their... oh, I can't look at their unit unless they're outside of the settlement. And 10 and 22. So the warlords have 5 more attack and they have 3 more defense. So yeah, they have better stats, but, it's a 24-man unit. And it takes 3 turns to train. Now, I don't know, and they have excellent morale, good stamina, may charge without orders. Okay, so they do have that. It's kind of weird, but let me just compare that real quick. Again, if I go into this, and then what am I looking at? This, and then this, and so I think that there's excellent morale for the other unit, for the warlord, I think. Good stamina is the same. Yeah, so they can form wedge, and the warlord cannot, because it's too small, I guess. Yeah, so there you go. And I would assume that this takes 2 turns to train, but not 3. Right? That would be my assumption. And 873 to recruit, so that's cheaper than the warlord by quite a bit, actually. Warlord costs a lot, so 873 and 204. And then yeah, what am I paying for these guys? 15. That's what I'm paying. Oh god. 160. And what would I look at before the other one? 204, I think. So the upkeep's cheaper, less men. I get it, but yeah, the 1500's a lot. But they're the only heavy cav that I have right now, and quite frankly, it is kind of nice having other guys that are around who can just place down watchtowers and stuff. Like that's a useful thing. It's just having a guy, because I'm probably gonna do that right here. Train up another warlord, just so that I can have someone who can come out here and just place down more watchtowers. Because once you're done conquering Salamantica, you're going to be on your way. You're not going to be sticking around. In fact, okay, so I should probably train more peasants, or were some of you intended to go to Salamantica?
General,
I'm assuming that I trained some of you for that reason.
march
So let's get you guys going
forward. No more move.
so that you can garrison Salamantica immediately upon capture, and then they can move on. And then when you're trained up, you can go ahead and start placing on watchtowers around the rest of Iberia, just so that we can keep an eye on it. Now, I will say, and I can't remember if I've said this before, but I may have, but it really does seem like, it's funny, of all the triggers that I've tried to explore in regards to what causes brigands to pop up, and the suggestions that I've heard from folks talking to me on my channel, and things that I've read online, and even me looking up stuff in the code, and nothing seemed correct. Really, like nothing matched up. There's always like an idea of, a little hint of truth here or there, and the things weren't adding up. Even the stuff that I read in the code wasn't really explaining what I was witnessing. Because the code, it was saying things like, oh, it's about the size of the province, and if it's too big of a province, then the brigands will spawn further away from the settlement, and therefore they're not likely to spawn in smaller settlements. And I was like, I don't know, I'm experiencing some spawning right next to settlements in some situations. Not often, but often enough where it seems like that's not true. So what I'm getting to, though, is that in my late game for the Julii and, for Egypt, when I was playing as those factions, is that the teched up tier 5 settlements seemed like those provinces were locked down. There weren't that many brigands. And I can't find anything from anyone else that like corroborates that. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this. But even in this campaign itself, like even here, right, where I have these tier 5s and the tier 4, and sure, there's been like a couple of brigands here or there. Now that I'm saying this, like watch this just get a bunch of brigands in the next couple of turns. But like, it is not what it was, for the early and mid games for my other campaigns, where it was just every single turn and every single province until they got teched up. Once I was in the Civil War as the Julii, this entire region, this vast region that I had, that was all, once it was all teched up, I didn't really have to worry about it that much. It was like locked down. So yeah, it's a funny thing. It really is. Like, people have suggested that increasing the law in settlements will do something to it. And that's not true, because the Egyptians and the Julii are both law-centric factions. They have law buildings and law temples, and they have law traits and ancillaries, and that didn't do it. So yeah, it looks like it just might be attached to settlement size, which is cool, except for, what does that mean for the barbarians? They're just, like screwed again? Cool. Sweet. That sucks. Anyway, all right, so that's enough of that. I think I am tempted to get this army moving up to rejoin with this army, because it's all in the same, it's all going to be merged together. I'm tempted to, but I may as well like leave them here just to, garrison Carthago Nova for the time being. I may as well. Right? And then
Yes. Yes.
Let's have you, Vidricious, my faction leader, let's just keep placing down watchtowers for now, since we're just kind of killing time until I either A, build up boats, or B, talk to the Roxolani. I feel like that's going to be the way. I don't. What were you doing down here? I think we already talked to the Western Romans, and I think they've already said no, they don't want my map information. I'll try again, but I think we've already done this, so let's just do that, and then that. And yeah, no, they don't want any of that smoke. So you can probably find something more useful to do. Maybe
Yes, master.
maybe we can fleece the Alemanni before we go to war with them. Or just go out east, I suppose. We can talk to the Eastern Romans, you know, maybe someone else, the Vandals, Sarmatians, whoever. And then here, I think it's the Lombardi that we want to talk to. Maybe we can sell them some stuff. 1,000 denarii, why not? And then do that, and then that. And yeah, they want trade, and they will do the map information though for trade. Can I get any money out of you guys? Like even 500, you just got to pay the upkeep of my diplomat at this point. And no, they just want to do that. Fine, whatever. Yeah, strength of character, my ass. Sure. Did that even tell me anything, or did we already know everything that they knew? Yeah, maybe it just showed us one settlement. Not sure. But that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. Let's see. Who are you? You're Berber. Oh yeah, maybe I could get some info on the Berbers. Oh yeah, that's actually something. Right. Yeah, I want their info, and actually I want peace because we have a stupid war with them. They just kind of landed. They got lost. I forgive them. Like they shipwrecked on my land. I murdered them. Their force was not a threat to me, and I was like, get out of here. And I would rather have a ceasefire so that potentially we can trade. You know, there's no reason. We don't need to have an ongoing war. So this is actually perfect. Instead of me having to build a boat and train another diplomat, I can actually do this. Right. So let's do a ceasefire. Let's do trade rights, map information for map information. And that seems fair. They accepted all of that. It profits us little. My ass, dude. Seriously, I'm sure you guys are going to be doing great. I say that. Looks like we're not trading here. What is this? Is this us trading? See a gray line. What does the gray line mean? Is that going? No, that's the Roxolani. Okay. So the Roxolani are trading with them, but not me. Interesting. That seems like that'd be a faster little route right there. And is that it? Do they not have? Well, what else do they have? Anything? Anything at all? Let's see here. That's Roman. And then is there anything down here? So that's Berber. And then that's Berber. So they just have the two, eh? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious about playing a Berber campaign way down in the future, like way later, because it seems like such. I've looked at their unit roster. It's such garbage. It's so bad. It is so bad. The Numidian roster is so much better than the Berber roster. It's crazy. So yeah, that'll be a fun challenge at some point in the future. And just like that, in the very next turn, Sigurd has passed away. Man, that man lived a very long time. So hopefully that means that we get a new person adopted into the family. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Sacred Grove of Ties is finished here in Cordoba. I'll say I haven't noticed getting any ancillaries or traits specifically from any of my shrines that I've been building. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, that's pretty mysterious. What do we have here? This is Sacred Circle. So this must be is this the tier 2 or the tier 3? I think this is the tier 3 to ties here. And like, are you getting anything from this? See, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, not sure about that. And then you, yeah, nothing looks like that's getting, because here we have the other temple, I think, right? We have nope, we have ties there as well. And then we have ties. We have ties in all three places. Did I make a mistake on that? I thought I was going to do the other one. Because ties is the worst one. I was just going to do ties as like a experiment. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what happened there. Okay, well, let's go in and attack this place. We have our 1 sapping point, our 3 siege towers. So let's go ahead and assault. And let's get a battle in. It's been a while. So yeah, two peasants, some beat up Limitani, and some beat up Auxilia Palatina, and a 10-man Comita Tenseis, and a 15-man Plumbatari. Even in those low numbers, it's still going to be some tough units, but still. I think that we are going to be just fine here.
The sun has risen. Many brave warriors will not see the setting of the sun today. Many cowards among our foes will pray for the night. Scream your battle cries, call to the gods, ask for their strength, and put true fear in the souls of your enemies.
I am noticing as I'm observing these defenses, these towers are very well placed along this line. There are no gaps here. There are no sections. Clearly, so this must be a defense that is matched to this city size, I think. I forgot to look and remind myself before the battle what size city this is and what level of defenses these are. Doesn't exactly tell me, does it? No. Doesn't just tell me what type of wall it is? No, it does not. But yeah, there's no gaps here, you know? So what I'm going to be doing here, my guys are next to the sapping point in case I want to use it. A lot of times I don't use it, especially in situations where I assume that I'm going to be winning the fight on the wall. Now, my swordsmen are not, they're like tier 3, right? So they would lose to a really dedicated defense on the city walls, but against what I'm going up against, there's a chance that we can win. And then also being backed up by my spearmen and archers, there's a solid chance there, right? Now, also I am noticing that there are some issues here with the patch that I'm using in regards to my unit cards. Some of them are absent, and some of them can't be clicked on, like my general can't be clicked on, so there are some issues there in case one of the modders are watching. Yeah, there's some stuff that get cleaned up there. But then I have over on this side just like a little other option, which is that you can kind of come in and maybe split the defenders up possibly, or just take more towers. You know, that's some ideas there. I'm going to stay clear of the other side. I was looking at it and I'm like, man, like this is kind of an option hitting this, but I'm just going to be getting hit by the side from that tower. That doesn't feel very good at all. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an option. But it's tough because this, I'm sure that I can attack here, but then there are wall sections where I can't attack, and I'm wondering if I can attack here. That little thingy there, I don't know what that's called, but like a support for the wall or something like that. That's what it's called. But I wonder if that means that I can't attack here, and I'm not sure yet. I don't have... That's that advanced game knowledge that I'm not quite up to speed on. So let's just see. Can I? It looks like I might be able to. And both of my towers are on fire. Well, yes, they are. And is no one guarding this section of the wall at all? No one? Nope, we got some guys down here. And man, this is like, I'm just going to say right now, for someone that, you know, never uses the unrestricted camera on normal campaigns, and to experience that in this case is just, oh man, it just feels so good. Oh, it's gonna be really hard to like go away from this. I don't know if I want to. It's just when planning a siege fight and getting like an understanding of the settlement and what side I want to attack from and the exact route that I want to take into the city center that's the most efficient. It's just very, very nice to have the unrestricted camera, you know? Because now I can look over and I can see, okay, I want to go down here, take a right, go here, and then just go straight. But if it wasn't for that, you know, it's a lot harder to find these things out. And holy shit, I just got trampled. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. Trampled was the wrong word, but wow, I did not... Why didn't it catch on fire? That is so bizarre, yeah. I wonder, were you getting shot at by one of these towers? Yeah, they're losing dudes. For sure. Let's maybe have you start running, perhaps? And then, yeah, these guys need to get up here and start capturing some towers. Yeesh. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky that that one hasn't fallen yet. And let me check on these guys over here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to get up. And I don't think the tower is taking any fire. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the sapping point. I might not use it. I might instead just go over here and capture this gate. The sapping point is just a nice option if you're looking at those walls and you're thinking like, nope, can't get up there. Alright, yeah, you guys need to get up there, please. And then, yeah, you guys need to start turning these towers off. Perfect. Now, yes. Now these towers, now that they're captured, they can start firing upon the enemy down below. And yeah, so I've been watching some Medieval 2 gameplay to prepare myself for covering that game later this year. And it is interesting that the changes they've made to the towers and how when you capture them, they don't fire back upon the enemy inside. And I do see it both ways. You know, like I kind of get it. In this way, I get, like, it's an abstracted understanding of, like, saying, no, like, you would leave guys behind and they could fire them, then they could fire from them, you know? Like, I kind of understand it that way, but then again, that's like an abstracted understanding of how that would work, you know, because they're not actually here, you know, they're just, like, imaginary people that are being left behind to fire down upon. It's not like you're, you know, convincing the tower garrisons to fire on their own people. That's not what's happening here, right? It's like an understanding that we're leaving people behind to fire down from those towers. So I get it either way, but it is kind of a stretch of the imagination. Oh shit, they got people up here. Oh, it's just peasants. Okay, we should be fine. I got jump scared there for a second. So the peasants are going to get shot at from this tower, which is cool. I really like the angles here. But yeah, hopefully we can win here because I've had wall fights where units that I would think that would win don't win. I'm looking at you, Desert Axemen. So yeah, hopefully my swordsmen can actually win this fight. We should. It says the peasants are losing heavily, so I'm going to try to trust that for now. I love seeing these Plumbotari taking casualties from the towers that I've captured. Yeah, that feels pretty good. That peasant unit was defeated as well. So now that the gate belongs to us, I can start bringing my dudes up. Let's go Lancers first, maybe. And then the Warlords can follow up. Followed up by the Horse Archers after them. And yeah, Plumbotari, I mean, should I send my swordsmen down to fight them? So, to support the cav? Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Swordsmen, come on down there and help out. And then, what do we have here? The Raiders, my archers are up here. Nice to get some shots on the Comitatenses, but it looks like they're going to be going down to the towers, which feels good. You're going around, and then you've probably captured enough towers. I don't think I needed you to capture every single freaking tower in the settlement. You can probably just come back around and then prepare for the main assault, then city center. Now my swordsmen are fighting this Plumbotari over here, and are we cutting them down or are they cutting us down? Which way is it? Which way is happening? Yeah, let's get this warlord in. That's not one of my family, so yeah, hit these Plumbotari. Looks like there they go. That's the break. That's all we needed to see there. And I really do like the half finished buildings in this game. It looks really good. You know, it's a really nice touch. Like, what was this going to be? This was going to be an arena. And look at it. It looks like a construction space. It's just like, you know, like they didn't have to do it that way, you know? They didn't have to put this here. It could have been something. They could have just kept it whatever it normally is. And then when it becomes the thing, it would just be the thing, you know. They didn't have to do this intermittent stage of building, you know, like that. They didn't have to, but they did, you know. It's just well done. Oh shit, we got some auxilia going into my warlords. Oh, the sneaky buggers crept up on me. So yeah, I don't want those spears attacking my cav, actually. That seems awful. So let's get on my warlord back here. Where's my swordsman? I have a swordsman somewhere up here. No, I know that I have one here. There they are. Okay, so they have you guys attack those spears. There they go. Now they're running away. So what do we have? 44 Auxilia Palatina versus my 43 dudes. And then let's go ahead and try to get my Goth Lancers around to the side here, just to help out. I know it's a tough fight. I know there's some tanky boys. And how are they doing? Yeah, it says they're winning easily. Shit, okay, yeah. Yeah, I know this isn't an ideal engagement for the Goth Lancers, but let's see if they can just kind of, just politely walk up to them and start poking them. There you go. There you go. Is that killing any of them? Yeah, it's not that fast, but it's something. It's something, yeah. It looks like that unit's gaining some veterancy as well. Sure, okay. You know what? Getting rid of another tanky unit before we have to approach the plaza, so that is fine with me. I have now formed up right on the edge of the city center, and I think that all that's remaining is a unit of Limitani and some peasants. Is that it, eh? Huh. I thought that there was some more units. What are you guys? Those are my guys? Oh, they're just going around this way? Okay. Yeah, I sent some horse archers to kind of go around here, but I guess they're going to go the long way. Ooh, I don't think I want that. I think I'm going to be going by some towers that I don't want you to go by. That's fine. You can just go there. That's okay. It's okay. It's not super necessary. I just wanted to open up a second front in case I needed one to advance on the city center, but yeah, we're looking like we're in the clear here. We just got to pull these peasants off. I got my archers shooting away. Launch some shots into those peasants. Mowing these guys down. And then, yeah, after that, we have 30 Limitani, so it shouldn't be a problem there. So far, these spearmen are just standing here taking the shots. No, they're not being pulled off the plaza, which is interesting. Oh, there they are. There's the Palatina. Okay, I thought there was another unit here. And yeah, it's interesting that they're not getting pulled off the plaza. I thought that was pretty standard procedure for the AI when they're getting shot by archers. But no, instead, they seem like this is the way that they would rather go. Fine by me. Well, I think I know why those spearmen were pretty content to just stand there and take shots to the face, and that's because they didn't care about those arrows at all. No, they survived all of that. So I'm gonna be getting these guys in Warcry, and Warcry you guys as well, and get a little charge going. That probably has been 4 seconds, so go ahead and run in there, and you guys run in there as well. And I'll just get my spears around behind. And once we push these guys off of the plaza, they're not going to be getting that unbreakable bonus. You know, so at this point, I can break them morally. Yeah, in fact, I don't know why didn't that end the battle right there? Is it just because of him? That peasant right over there, did he just count as... He shouldn't be on the plaza though, right? He's off the plaza. Ref. Ref. They're cheating. Oh well, we'll just butcher them, I guess. Let's see, what do they have left here? 9 Limitani on this side, and then 5 Auxilia Palatina. That is fine. Yeah, that's okay. And then let's end this battle. There we go. So we did lose 153 men. But now Iberia does belong to us. Yes, there we go. And I am going to exterminate. I have to just mentally put that in my brain. Exterminate. Populace. I didn't even look at the people. I didn't even look at how many money I made. A bit. What, 20 grand? Something like that? Yeah, so there we go. Resistance is futile. So retrain. So I can't repair anything. I didn't destroy anything. Yeah, good for me. And then, yeah, let's retrain these guys. This is the army that used to have Sigric in it, so that's why we were missing a warlord. So that is fine. And then construct. Let's see here. So what can I actually train here? Warlord, Goth horse archers, Goth lancers, swordsmen, raiders, spearmen. Yeah, cool. Some boats, sure. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. So I can get the royal stables, which would allow me to get the warlord. That's fine. Trader, land clearance, tavern. Those are my options. A large city. We have a 1.5 pop growth, and I would need 20,000 people to get up to a huge city. So, oh god. Okay, so maybe I do want to work on pop growth. Honestly, what gets me more? Yeah, it's 0.5 pop growth, and that's extra 40 or so from trade. I just want to do land clearance. It's the same amount of pop growth, but it's going to be a bit more money. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that. And or do I want to do the awesome temple? I want to destroy that right away. What does that do again? Experience modifier? Okay, yeah, I think I do want to. I do want that for now. And then when I finish training up my soldiers, then I can get something else.
Chief.
And then, yeah, peasants can go ahead and garrison.
No more moves.
Yes,
In fact,
Chief.
let's do that. Get these peasants going here, just for some little bit of extra there. And that's fine. Yeah, I think in 2 turns, they can move off, and then I'll have 2 invasion armies ready to go against the Alemanni, I suppose, eh? So, yeah, Gothic Spy can start moving in that direction. And then I have my agent here, my diplomat. Where did that Roxolani dude go? Oh, come on. I mean, I guess I don't have to go far to find the Roxolani. He was right here. Gosh darn it.
Yes.
Gosh darn it. Okay, so where are you? There you are.
Yes, master. At once.
What's closer? That or that's closer.
At once.
Hey, you're right there. Come back. Come back.
No more moves.
I changed my mind. You can have military access, I swear. Yes, here we go. So, we have another candidate for adoption, and this is going to be, Vidricius is going to be adopting this person, and Iolphus. I don't know if this is one of my current people. I don't recognize him, but 2-star general, 24 years old, and yes, fantastic. So yeah, good commander. And then untouched by fear, so +1 morale. That's wonderful. Good ambusher, +1 command when ambushing, and then Christian as well. Absolutely. Welcome to the family, bud. Yes. Yes. All right. So yes, get some 39,000 in the treasury. Sure. And there we go. So let's go back to it and continue retraining some dudes and go ahead and get some more peasants. Why not? And then we should be ready to go once that is finished. You come over here. Let's go up to this high ground
Move out.
and get a watchtower up here
Build tower.
for some good vision. And then I'm thinking about bringing you down over here as well.
Moves.
And Roxolani... Okay, come on, man.
I will talk to them.
Yeah, there we go. So he has 0 influence off 1. I don't know if that actually means anything. Some people think it does mean that you can... Like, it changes the number values for the money if there's any money involved in the conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I know for, like, bribes. I think for bribes it changes things. But, see, yeah, like, I know that it increases the amount of money if you embed a diplomat with an army. I think that increases the bribe amount to bribe that army. But I don't think it reduces the bribe amount if the diplomat's like trying to bribe another army. I don't think higher influence equals that. I don't think so. Like, that's what people... It's not true in Shogun. It's not true in Medieval 1. I don't know if it's true in this. I don't think I've tested it. But I'm sure other people have tested it. Anyway. So for this, yes, we want... Hi, friend. We want military access. We want to offer it. We want to demand it. And just straight up like that, can we be cool? No, my words are worthless. In one breath, you will give the right to pass across your lands and then look for an excuse for war. So much for high friend. Okay. Make a new offer. How about I just give you some... How about... Okay, if I just try that same offer again, but then give them money, I don't think they're going to take it. So how about I just give them money, 1,000 as a gift. A gift as a measure of the giver. Our thanks. There, yep, there you go. That's more like it. So we'll just do that. In fact,
Sir.
Since he's going to be moving around, ooh, it's a Roxolani assassin, eh? What's your assassin doing in my territory? Do I need to train my own assassin? Yeah, because I don't have any right now. I'm currently assassinless, so... Yeah, maybe I should get an assassin there, and then put a spy in my settlement, just to kind of hang out. And then... Maybe... How good are you? You have only one thing of subterfuge. I don't think that he has a high chance of killing a one influence diplomat.
Sir.
But just to be safe, let's hang out here in the settlement. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on him, and we have a spy here. Let's go check out Massilia. What do we have here? Yeah, peasants, and then 2 archer units, and then a general, the factionaries here, 0 command stars. Ooh, that's looking pretty weak. Tier 3 stone walls? Yeah, not too worried about it. Not too worried about it. I'm more worried about these 2 navies here. Roxolani Navy. Don't have to worry about them. In fact, if they want to clear out the Western Roman separatists, then that would be nice. Yeah, I'm not seeing any... What's the range of my boats? Ooh, I could get pretty far here. So if I put my boat to... I mean, we could make it, to here in 2 turns. It's not that bad. That's not that bad. It's worth...
Aye, Captain.
It's worth a shot, I have 2 boats here. Let's just keep building boats. And then I think it's time... Let's see, Iolphus. Iolphus, you... how do I say your name? Yeah, that's the best I got. Whatever I'm saying right now is as close as it's gonna get. So let's do my spearmen and...
General.
You guys, am I bringing my swords?
Orders.
Yeah, I'm leaving the spearmen, that's right.
Chief, General. Yes, General.
Or no, I'm bringing the spearmen, right, okay. And then bring you, okay, there we go.
Move.
And if we lower taxes, are we going to be fine? Damn, we're not. I mean, 70 is going to be fine. We're not going to be having any rioting or whatever. Just means that we can't build a boat. We have to stick to getting peasants. Shoot. Okay. And let's go ahead and retrain you to get you the bonuses from the whatever building we have. I think it's is it the temple actually that's giving that bonus? Yeah, probably. Yeah, let's get you moving up here and get you ready to hop on some boats. But it's still going to be a few more turns, unfortunately. What in the heck is this Roxolani spy trying to do in my gosh darn settlement? Oh, sure enough. Yeah, that's the turn where my settlement is unhappy with me. Right. I wonder what that's all about. Well, I have a spy and a diplomat and an assassin all in the settlement. That spy still got in? God damn. You guys have really bad public security, don't you? Yeah, none of you guys have anything that increases that? Okay, fine. I'll just have to do it myself. Let's get my... Well, I have an assassin, so let's get him, and you're going to be killing this guy. 95% chance. Hell yeah, there you go. Take that, my friendly neighbors. Take that. And then you... What in the hell are you guys doing? I just gave you money. Damn. Seriously, they're gonna be breaking just like that. Just like that. Guys? Can you... Come on, man. I wanted us to be cool. I gave you money. Well, there's something that I can try here. Something that I've heard about is if you just kind of match their moves and meet them at the border, you can kind of maybe, you know, kind of talk them out of it. Or not talk them out of it, but, you know, show them the error of their ways. So if I just go here, now this isn't my full force, but ooh, Terrico's actually okay without them there. Oh.
Orders.
Okay, well my infantry can come up then, in that case.
March.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be needing people to garrison Terrico without just these peasants, but apparently not. Apparently not, so let's see here.
Assassin ready.
Can I be?
Yeah, let's get my diplomat out
At once.
and start talking to them. In fact, I probably gotta shoot. I probably should just talk to them in this turn. I don't know why I walked by them. That was a mistake.
Aye, Captain.
That was a mistake. All right, let's get some boats here. Let's just keep going with that for now. And now we should be able to move out with this army as well. All of you except for that peasant, that is.
Orders. General. Chief. Yes. Chief.
Yeah, that peasant can stay,
General. Chief. Orders. Yes.
but the rest of you can start moving out here. Man, it's gonna take a while, isn't it?
Chief.
And then yeah, you guys get inside. And yeah, we're good. Retrain that? Nah. Construct stuff. Let's see. Probably, yeah, I think I do want... I want to keep going with trying to increase my population, actually. So yeah, let's get that trader going. Actually, now that we're not training units here in Salamantica, let's go ahead and destroy this awesome Temple of Mithras, so that we can get one of our own shrines in. The Shrine to Agni. Let's do one of those. So that's going to be fixing it. I know it's scary right now, but yeah, that's going to be fine. Low taxes. That's going to be fine by the next turn. It's going to be okay. I have to tell myself that. It's going to be okay. And did I really put a Shrine to Ties in all 3 settlements? Did I really do that? Huh. Feels like a mistake, but that's okay.
General.
I am ready to end this turn, and I'm curious to see if I'm going to be able to avoid a diplomatic incident, shall we say. Looks like we have... That looked like a... Ooh, okay, sneaky, sneaky. Are we going to be able to get that guy? Because I have an assassin right there ready to kill spies. Yeah, so they moved off. And we have ourselves another benefactor, or another candidate for adoption, shall I say. 29 years old. Yeah, sure, why not? 1-star general, confident commander, gatebreaker, rational concerns, so +1 morale, Christian. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'll take it. Man, I'm just so happy to be getting people back into the family. Man, oh man, that was rough there for a while. And so Iolphus has a merchant, so 10% bonus on all trade income. And Tanausis has a wilderness prophet, +1 influence. And that's you up here in Terrico? Okay. +1 influence. Interesting. I wonder... In the wilderness, there is no hiding from God's gaze, but getting others to listen after is the real test. Interesting. So I wonder if that is... I wonder if that is from the Shrine to Ties. Yeah, and it doesn't look like they were dissuaded from approaching. Although I say that, let me see. You're not like going around the back door, are you? No, it looks like they just got pushed off. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I've seen that seems to work. I sort of tested this out with my Sassanid campaign as well, with my northern neighbors, which were the they were the Roxolani, weren't they? Yeah, yeah. And you guys have come a long way. So in that campaign, we were never allies, but I was able to essentially dissuade them from ever attacking me and declaring war just by every time they approached my border on the Caucasus, I just hit the pass, stood there with an army, and that army was always a conglomeration of my somewhat low tier garrison units that I was using in my northern towns that I sort of just would bring together on a moment's notice to mirror the Roxolani's armies. That way I didn't need to garrison a really high tier army there, and they could pull double duty with hunting down brigands and also keeping the population loyalty high in my settlements, and then also banding together to form an army to, to kind of chase off our neighbors, right? And that felt pretty functional. That felt pretty good. So this isn't a long-term solution for these armies, because these armies are intended to, do some invading. Yeah, that's going to be the idea here. But that gives me the idea that if I wanted to, for instance, like how much does the runaway slave spearman cost for upkeep? It's 150. Is that the same? So it's like barely cheaper than the Gothic spearman. It's a bigger unit, but I don't know if I like that either, because that's going to be taking more people from my settlements, which are pretty decimated in regards to their population. It is a lot cheaper though to recruit. 405 for the Gothic spears versus the 270 for the runaway slave spearmen. Yeah. So that's an idea for a low tier spear unit. It's not a good spear unit, but it could do the job. And then Gothic warriors, man, they cost 504 to recruit, eh? Man, oh man, that's steep. It's pretty steep for like a third tier swords unit, And then 189 for upkeep, eh? So yeah, that's even more than the Gothic spears. Interesting. So like another idea would be using horse archers instead of the Allen horse archers. So that's another idea there. Their recruitment cost is almost 100 less, and their upkeep is not that much less, but it's like 20 or so denarii. So yeah, so like a lower tier army would be like, I don't know, runaway slave spearmen maybe, Goth horse archers, and some Goth lancers perhaps, something like that, just to sort of like match the Roxolani. Every time they kind of front on me, I just kind of front back and go, no, you do not, back away. So for the time being, I'm going to continue to try to do this. Military access, and I will just right off the bat, I'll offer them money. And can I give them, you know what? Let's make them know that I'm serious here. Let's offer them 5,000. And no, that's still not good enough. All right, let's just offer them not that much, but I'll just give it as a gift. I'll just give them like $1,000 again. And do that, and yeah, just as a gift. There you go. Yes, and you better behave yourself. Yeah, you better behave yourself.
Yes, master. Unable to move.
Okay, and so it's my understanding also that like the way that these relationships work is that obviously like an alliance would be sort of a step up from a trade agreement, and map information and all that stuff. But then military access is like another step up of building that relationship, which I would hope would mean that shapes the way that they behave towards me, as in, keeping my borders safer from them. So I think that it's worth working towards this to sort of maybe try to shape that relationship so that they're looking more northwards towards, the Romans or the Franks, rather than looking towards me. Oh shoot, what do we have here? A few turns later, and we have a flash flood. Oh no. Soldiers killed 86. No citizens were killed. This is in Carthago Nova. Oh man. Okay, so we have to retrain these guys. That's unfortunate. Wait, Carthago Nova? Why aren't I... Okay, so they didn't get damaged. What happened then? What soldiers were killed? Yeah, I'm not sure. No one's missing from them. No one's missing from them. Is it here? Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, I guess this province is that big. So that this is that province, Carthaginiensis. Carthaginiensis.
Orders?
Yeah, that's annoying. So these guys have to get retrained now. Yeah, that's super annoying. The province is so big that it affects them over there.
Move.
Sure, whatever. Alright, yeah, we're getting the watchtowers done here. And I think I want to... Can I get a watchtower out here? That'd be kind of nice. Get some view, get some vision on the waters out here. Maybe even get a watchtower over there as well. I mean, it's my territory.
Move out. Out of move.
It's my territory. May as well. So agent found. Yes. So this is going to be finally this little sneaky bugger over here. So assassin, what are going to be your chances? 80%? Shit, that spy is jacked. Damn, dude. 6 eyeballs. Fuck. Okay, so yeah, I can't do anything about that. I need my assassin to start hitting the gym or something because, yeah, 18% is not good enough. Dang. That's too bad. I was really excited to, I wanted to kill that spy. I was so excited for that. Well, I got some boats now. I have, what, 6 boats in this fleet? That's probably enough, but man, I keep seeing more fleets and I'm like getting nervous. Roxolani fleet, we're allies, I know. That's a Frankish navy, we're not allies with them. And then, yeah, this little... We actually have some people here on that fleet. But we are neutral with all of these guys, and that is just one boat. That's just one boat. That's just one boat, so none of them should be, you know, trying to attack me or anything. Oh no, the Franks are marching on the Alemanni capital. I mean, I was going to go to war with them anyway, so I guess that's where it starts. Yeah, that's where it's going to start. You know what? Actually, in a way, I suppose that means I won't be declaring war on one of the Roxolani allies, so maybe that'll make them like me more, maybe?
Sir, I will...
Yeah, who knows? I'm going to keep trying this. Let's actually... Let's up it. Let's up the stakes a little bit. Let's do that, and then that, and then... And then let's offer them a little bit more. What about a tribute? What if I gave them like $1,000 for 10 turns? Where is that? Regular tribute. That for that. Is that enough? Is that... Yeah, they're not about it. So just keep offering them the gifts to see if I can increase that. Yeah, see if I can increase that relationship, I suppose. And maybe it's also better if I just do things one at a time. Maybe if I offer them military access and then, as a second step, then try to get military access myself. Yeah, I don't know, but that maybe that's the way. Maybe that's how you increase that relationship step by step, rather than like doing both at once. Might be too big of a leap, perhaps. Yeah, it's something to think about. But for the time being, the thing is that
Yes.
I need, even though I got some boats already, which is good, I still
Orders.
want either one of two things before I'm ready to attack, and either one, have this army over here and retrained to plug this gap, or two, I am in the process of training up another low tier army, which I was talking about. So that is in the process of being trained up here between Carthago Nova and Cordoba in Salamantica. getting the basic horse archers there, getting the raiders here, runaway slave spearmen here in Carthago Nova, and just keep going with boats, I suppose. I don't know, 6 boats is probably fine. I'm paying 86 upkeep. Oh, that's not that much. That's actually not that bad. It's the recruitment cost that's, you know, pretty hefty, but yeah, maybe instead, maybe I do recruit stuff here just to get this army ready faster. Yeah, maybe that's what I do. Because the sooner that I can have these 2 armies out in the field actually capturing stuff and making, you know, money for me, the better. So I think that that's going to be the play. What if I offer the Roxolani 2,000 denarii and military access? No, shit, no, that's not what I meant to do. No, make offer. And I know this might seem counterintuitive, but I read it in a guide. So it's my understanding that the AI is pretty skeptical of military access in general, and that you might have to pay them to get them to accept it. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So yeah, let's see if I do this, and no, they're still pretty like skeptical about that. So yeah, we'll just keep offering them gifts, try to I don't know, grease that relationship, I suppose, and see if I can, yeah, get them on side, I suppose. But I don't know, things have already, what has that been, like 5 grand, 6 grand in separate installments that I've offered. So yeah, it's tough. It's one of those situations where when I was playing as the Sassanids, I was able to push stuff through. No, not as the Sassanids, but as the Egyptians in my Egypt campaign. I was able to push stuff through like mass, you know, like big chunk, you know, installments of money, which is possible in that campaign because you have that kind of money, and I don't know if you get that kind of money in this campaign. Yeah, I'm not too sure. And I think that the Alemanni just got destroyed. I think that their last settlement was just taken by the Franks. Yeah, I wonder... I would have to imagine there's going to be conflict now between the Roxolani and the Franks. You know, the Roxolani are already sending troops to this bridge here. And they have a diplomat. Okay, let me check. They're not friends, are they? Because that would be annoying. No. They're not friends, they're not enemies yet, but they do have a diplomat there that's talking to them. Yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, here's the Alemanni having been destroyed. Okay. So yeah, it's time to get going here. It's time to get going. We have, man, it's just not having like good roads is such a, this guy's been moving forever from Salamantica. I know we took a detour and, you know, popped on a watchtower, but still, like, that wasn't that far out of the way, you know? Like, it's just like, damn, it takes so long to move around when you don't have good roads. That's something that I'm going to be having to deal with in my Britannia campaign as well. So fun. So much fun.
Forward.
Oh well, let's go ahead and get Goth Lancers here. And yeah, so our like low tier army is pretty much it's coming together.
Orders.
It's coming together. Here's my faction leader. He's going to be coming on over here. He can maybe lead the low tier army, just kind of stay home and defend. Why not? Yeah, so that's going to be the idea there. And I don't, you know, if there's conflict between the Roxolani and the Franks, maybe that'll make the Roxolani more open to, you know, being cool and not these little jerk faces that they've been so far. Yeah, that's the hope at least. I mean, they haven't sent an army to my border in a while, so at least there's that, right? Yeah. But then again, I don't want them to take Massilia off of the Franks. Now, not with that force, for sure. Not this little stupid force, but What do they have here? Jesus. Okay, yeah, man. Franks have these Francisca Hirbon and the Sword Hirbon as well, and some ballista and 1 unit of hunters. That's a no-nonsense siege army, siege assault army for sure. Yeah. Yeah, the Roxolani and their step slave spearmen are not gonna, or their runaway slave spearmen, they're not gonna stand a chance. They do have the Bosphorian infantry. That's a good, steady, solid spear unit, but yeah, it's not gonna do it. No, I don't think so. They're gonna need some more solid units to get into those walls. Now I've decided to send my diplomat over here to the Lombardy and go talk to these guys just because they're one of the few remaining power blocks on the map that are potentially able to provide a check to the Frankish power. Now, I initially tried to sell them an alliance, but they just wanted a basic alliance, just a straight up alliance. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't intend to ever, conquer up this far north. So really, doing what I can, even though they just have the two regions left. Actually, is this them? No, that's Frankish. What about that? That's Frankish as well. Damn, they're just surrounded on all sides. And this is the Sarmatians. Yes, it is. The Vandals still exist. Yeah, so not much of a power block, but potentially, maybe I can give them money at some point. So the Celts still exist. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to go after the Franks here and start hurting them wherever I can. Massilia, they only left it guarded by 1 unit, and I have a spy right there that has a 93% chance of getting inside. So that's an opportunity that I want to take. Hope before the Roxolani take it, because now I'm nervous that they're going to jump on, just go across that bridge and go do that. So what I'm going to have to do then is probably, this army is ready to go. And I have some forces, even though this army needs to get retrained. I have enough stuff in the area to at least check Roxolani aggression if they start to front on me again. So that's what I should do. Put these guys on the boats, and then in 2 turns they can be laying siege to Massilia, hopefully. And maybe we can even get inside on the first turn if our spy opens the gates for us. If not, we can just get in the second turn, and we shouldn't have any issues there. In fact, let's just kind of poke our head around the corner. So there's the Frankish force right there. So they haven't gone far. But if they continue in that direction, by the time we arrive, they should be, out of sight, out of mind. And yeah, we better get there before the gosh darn Roxolani. Because if not, then it's going to start to become a problem, right? Then it's going to be like, all right, Roxolani, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because yeah, they're not having any of that military access stuff. And they've also got a ceasefire with the Western Romans as well. So it's like, all right, they're starting to solidify and, and all that stuff. So in any case, in some sense, we have made some progress. We only did conquer the 1 settlement in this episode, but we're ready to make our assault. We are ready to go here. We have 1 army that can jump on these boats. And then as soon as that other army is retrained, those boats will be back in time to pick that army up. And then we will have 2 armies potentially rampaging through northern Italy-ish kind of area. So that could be nice, taking some land from the Franks. And then, honestly, if we could even get a ceasefire with the Franks after taking Massilia and then this settlement, just so that we could then turn our attention to the Romans and take all of Italy. I wanted to try to see if there's another settlement down here. I don't know if there is. I'm just having my diplomat just kind of poke around to see if there's a settlement down here in the toe of the boot. But in any case, that's going to be it for this one. Before I go, I just wanted to say that if you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. So until next time, this has been Concept playing Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. Thank you very much, and goodbye.